charities need help from United Way of Greater Knoxville due to the ongoing pandemic. I'm Krisha Brooke.
Hi, and I'm Frank Murphy.
And you know, there's an easy way that you can contribute right now to charities in Greater Knoxville.
While you're driving around listening to the Krisha and Frank Show on your favorite podcast app, pull into a Pilot Food Mart like this one and buy some gas, top off your tank, pick up anything you want inside the convenience store.
Ooh, you could get some coffee. Today and tomorrow, Pilot is going to donate 5 cents from every gallon of gas sold, 10 cents from every dollar spent in stores to United Way of Greater Knoxville.
So whether you top off your tank, get a snack, get some of the delicious Pilot coffee that you and I love,
Oh, yeah.
know that you're helping out our community with United Way of Greater Knoxville. And thanks so much for driving around and listening to the Krisha and Frank Show on your favorite podcast app. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and find us on social media. Just look for Krisha and Frank.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitters, all of them.
And now on with the show. It smells like what?
Brussels sprouts.
That's
found
not
a
me.
deal.
I have Brussels sprouts.
This is an unpaid promotion for the Fresh Market on Tuesdays.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, happy Tuesday, by the
$12.99.
way.
$12.99 meal.
Brussels sprouts?
You get a full rotisserie chicken, 2 sides, and 6 corn muffins for $12.99.
Oh, this was you put this on something that you were, last Tuesday.
I ate a whole rotisserie chicken.
You were supposed to be moving and getting all your house stuff together. And
It was rainy and cold, so I got a whole rotisserie chicken, and I sat there and ate a lot of it.
Where is that place?
The Fresh Market. It's
I get-
Bearden area.
I get that confused with Whole Foods.
French Market. It's over near where Earth Fair used to be. Fresh
Oh,
Market.
I know where it is. I know exactly where it is. It's the dance. I know. This is how you know you've lived
The
here a long
dance-
time
the
ago.
dance place.
I can tell you that the dance studio used to be in that shopping center.
And Green Earth Emporium used to be in there.
CVS?
Love that place. CVS, yeah.
The Paris apartment
Yeah. All this stuff.
that used to be.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Frank Murphy.
I'm Krisha Brooke.
It's the Krisha and Frank Show. Thank you for subscribing to our podcast and helping get our YouTube numbers up.
I'm making sure that this, your business and I'm casual, so
Yeah. I guess, I have more casual shirts I could wear for on Fridays and
just
things.
making sure it's a good look.
Got my flannel that I'm saving for when it gets a little chillier.
Got a little,
But also,
don't think.
This,
UCB.
improv. Don't
Right,
think.
yeah.
Just react. Just go with it. Just
Yeah.
do. Because you're doing better. You asked me over the weekend to nag you,
Yeah.
and I forgot to do it yesterday like I was supposed to. But it's the speech that I give when I'm hosting a TV show.
Right, because I watched, my boyfriend and I watched one of the podcasts on his really big TV, and all I saw was the side of my face.
Yep, everything's exaggerated, isn't it? Mm-hmm. You notice that.
Yeah.
So when I'm hosting the TV show on PBS, the Scholars Bowl, you get the smartest kids but many of them have never been on television, and they want to just sit and they want to be in their academic comfort, right? So a lot of them, they'll sit like this, or they'll sit like this.
Like if I'm sitting if I'm having lunch with you or we're out on a patio, this is how I'm sitting.
So we did some shows
Excuse me.
where you were sitting like that.
Yeah.
And you said, "Oh my gosh, I watched myself. You've got to tell me to not."
Remind me, please.
Because you're an actress, you know. But on TV, you have to be as uncomfortably upright as possible. And you've got the upright shirts. That'll help you remember. And I tell the kids on Scholars Bowl, you want to be as flat as possible. So try to get as two-dimensional and as flat as you can. What?
I hear you chuckle.
I didn't say anything. I swear I didn't say anything.
You
But
chuckled.
I didn't.
It's not hard for me to get flat.
I wasn't chuckling at you.
Okay, how am I?
You're flat.
But how's my posture?
You see, because
Yeah.
if you can make your and when you've been on, we've done. Didn't we go on?
We did PBS together.
But we also did. We ever do a sit down interview on Channel 8? Or did I have to FaceTime you in for that one?
No, I don't remember.
Anyway, but when you're on these shows, they give you, there's these uncomfortable chairs on the set, and you see people who sit back in them, and they don't look normal, because then you get the little bird like Beth Haynes or whomever perched up on the edge, of the couch.
Right, because in news, they don't actually use the furniture they have. They just
They
they
just use
edge
the
it.
Yeah. Why pay for the whole seat when you're only going to need the edge? So
We're still gonna have a monster truck around here.
So, but that's all you use when you're on the, and I'm only using the edge of the seat. You know, there's quite a bit of a gap behind me, because you want to be uncomfortable, and that because it looks better. Anyway, so that's the lesson that I give to the kids on Scholars Bowl. And but sometimes when they come back year after year, they tease me about it, and they say at the end of the season, they'll say, "Well, what did you learn on Scholars Bowl this year?" And they're like, "How to sit on TV." And the rest of the crew gets frustrated with me because I keep telling the kids this. I'm only doing it so that when you watch this show later, you won't hate yourself so much.
Right. Well, I wasn't hating myself when I watched it, but
I meant the kids.
right. But yeah, I wasn't hating. I wanted to make sure that I was cheating out for the camera.
That's it. That's theatrical.
But also, I feel very natural in this arena with you, and
Yes.
so there's a part of me that yes, I want to be able to have my nice posture, but also
And
like I noticed that like I'm butzing around with something at some point
in
and
the
it
episodes
doesn't
where
bother me.
that happened, we weren't using the front-facing camera.
Yes.
So right now, we
We can see
decided
ourselves.
yeah, we put it so that we can see. We have a monitor, so we at least have some idea. Because there was one where we are so out of frame, and there's nothing I can do about it
Right.
in editing. All I can do is zoom in on the birds and the potted plant.
Cheep,
You know.
cheep, cheep, cheep.
So,
Oh.
but the furniture. Remember this furniture? We got this. Jerry bought this for us for the old podcast.
Yeah.
All of this furniture. The only reason it exists.
It's because of podcasts.
Yeah. This is when we started.
Can
doing
we just talk about Jerry for a second?
Jere the Brave. I
Jere
call
the
her.
Brave, and just how unbelievable she is, and how lucky you are,
Because she likes all of this stuff.
and she likes you.
Why is that?
Look. I mean, but she enjoys you and she supports you, and that's a really important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we try to think of ourselves as each other's biggest fan, but not just in the good part of it. I mean, with the secret to it, we say this to each other, is, the only reason we're still married is because somehow you put up with all of my expletive, all my crap, and she somehow puts up with. I mean, I am full of it. It's obvious that I am full of. I am up to
right,
the.
and I'm sure that she has her crap too.
And then she turns around and acknowledges that she does, and I'm like, well, okay, because yes, I do put up with you, and you put up with me, and that's really the secret.
And it's a really cool. I've always loved your dynamic and your relationship, the two of you, and it just makes me very happy.
Well, you went with me. I needed a date. My wife will do this to me. She'll be in a concert before pandemic. She'll be singing. She sang Beethoven's Ninth with the Knoxville Choral Society and the Knoxville Symphony Orchestra. She says, "You better get a date." So Jessica Brackeen was my date. And you see people in the audience, and they're like, "Why are you with a young woman in the audience?" And I'm like, "Because we're watching Jere."
Because my wife told me to.
For Aida, the grandest of all operas. You
It was so good.
were my date. And for that one, we snuck backstage, and you saw me fanboying over my wife.
Yes, and it's the cutest thing. And there's actually a great picture of all three of us, and I love that
I could
picture.
actually drop that
Yeah.
in, because I was looking at it recently.
I was too. Was it the anniversary of it or something? Was it recently?
I was searching Google Photos for pictures that you and I were in together, because it was I needed something to put as the icon on one of our accounts.
Yeah.
And that one comes up.
Yeah.
With
and it's
Jere
just-
with her Egyptian eye makeup.
Yeah, so put it somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've learned some new tricks with the editing. It's pretty
Fancy.
easy to fly things in and drop them in now.
Yeah.
So then she fans over me when I'm on Scholars Bowl, or when I'm on even just simple regular improv shows. She tries to come.
Yeah, and podcasts, and I think that's so important, and
She's sweet.
yeah.
So this one's for you, Jere. Yay.
I can't do this well. It's probably because of my arthritis. Can you make a heart with your?
I think people do. Wait, no, this is some
How
other
do
sign
the
language.
kids? How do the kids do it?
That's
That's
something.
That's something.
There's
Don't
something
do-
the sportscasters do
Oh,
with their hands.
it just hurts my.
And I try to teach this to the kids on Scholars Bowl. I say, put your hand. Don't do this. Don't put your hands in your pockets. Put your hands in a neutral position. So generally, what I tell them to do is take this hand and just.
When they teach kids at school, hands waiting.
Okay.
Hands waiting.
So
which is-
teach
yeah.
us.
It's however like what you were just doing, but it's hands waiting.
because it's not offensive. But then the sportscasters on ESPN, especially the football guys with big meaty paws, they would do some. They were all taught the same thing. It was like these weird praying hands, but they would do it in such a fashion that the sign language people got upset because whatever it was they were doing it wrong. Mm-hmm. Do you know sign language?
No.
Can you somehow know what I'm doing though? I mean,
I'm
not positive.
I'm just here.
Okay.
That's all.
Well, you have been moving and getting new furniture. So before we talk about, I was bringing up furniture with this table.
Yes.
But let's do our Hutch and Howard commercial because they are amazing realtors. No.
You did it.
I see the word.
In your mind.
I see real. I don't know why I see it. Because I gotta read. It's realtor.
And do you have words that you just physically cannot pronounce? Like, I'm gonna write that down so we can like talk about it. But
I need to do some exercises to learn to properly pronounce the word realtor. And Jerry said to me, my dear fan wife, every time you say it wrong, you're gonna have to say it correctly. I think was it 3 times for every time you made a mistake. That's how if you sing the wrong note when they're practicing, she now has to go back and sing the right note
3 times.
I think it's 3, maybe it might be 30, I don't know, but it's multiple times. And now I've got to say realtor every time I say it wrong.
But you can say hutchandhoward.com. You can
that's
say that.
Easier.
Yes.
Frankly, it's easier. You got Brandon Hutchison and you got Rob Howard, and they are the people, and they've got the website. They're part of Keller Williams.
Yeah, they've already sold over 100 homes this year, and they
That's
would
a
like
lot.
to sell more.
And that was last time we talked to him, which was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So clearly there's more.
Yeah, and if you're looking to move downtown, which there are.
That's where Rob lives, right?
Yes, there are some really great places downtown if you're looking to move South Knoxville, Morristown, Athens.
If you want to socially distance and live near nobody,
they can do that too.
They'll find the place for you.
Man, wouldn't that be great?
I should show you, I mean, I don't have time to do it now, but I should show you my mother's house on like Google Maps. My dad picked out this house that it appears to be in the middle of nowhere.
Like
it's
it
not.
just dropped out of the sky.
It's in a regular subdivision, but the way the property, it's like this, except times 10, where it's completely encased by woods because the community property, there's like a little neighborhood park.
Yeah, which
anyway,
is
Hutch and
nice.
Howard will help you find the equivalent of that, access to the greenway, access to something, and call 865-966-5005. Part of Keller Williams Realty, each office independently owned and operated.
Singing indeed.
Trust a professional, don't do it alone.
I'm standing still.
To the Sunsphere Tower,
He's waiting.
there's a knowledgeable name. It's Hutch and Howard. It's Hutch and Howard.
Okay, I didn't sing along.
It's fine.
I feel bad. I mean, I'm still going to charge you same full price for those commercials where I did the Irish
dance.
drinking song or
Yeah,
whatever
that's
I did.
fine.
But
They're not mad about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It
it's
might entice
just
people.
me.
It might entice people to go to the website because
But
it'll get you off of watching break dance.
It's not just you. I mean, out here I am picking on you because you asked me to pick on you.
Right.
But I also watched the episodes and thought, oh, I gotta sit still during the Hutch and Howard jingle. I know it's a rockin' number.
It's so cute. I like it.
All right, so you're buying stuff. You're renting a house before you ultimately buy your house from
Correct.
Rob.
And
Buy a house.
I am in absolute love with this place. And it is old and it's in Northish Knoxville.
Will you be one of those people who has the tours? You know, some of these North Knoxville people, like Aaron Donovan.
I won't, but I have a friend who lives in North Knoxville who does the Old North. Like
So that's a specific street, right?
But
Okay. I went riding through there with the mayor one time in a parade on the 4th of July. That's another story, I'll tell you that.
I will say, when I finally do buy a house, I want an
used to be
older
well known.
home. I love like the craftsman homes. You remember like the Sears, the homes that you could buy from Sears?
Well, I don't remember them specifically because that was 20 or 30 years before I was born, but
you
I've
know,
read
like,
I've read
right.
of them, yes.
I love that craftsman home with, big wooden open kitchens and hardwood floors and creaky stairs.
I was Googling, I'm right for my book. I needed to know is the house that I'm describing, is it a Craftsman, is it a Colonial, is it a Tudor, or whatever? So I had to Google all of those things. And when I saw Craftsman, I'm like, oh, that's what those are.
I love, and it's such my style, and I want porches, and I'm just in love with this place. But you know, when you're moving somewhere new, like you find, oh, well, I'm gonna need a table for this or that, and just happened to pop into Ambets with my guy the other day.
I think I did a broadcast from Ambets one time. It's nice. Is it over near the former Easttown Mall?
No, this is there's one right out west. I don't want to tell people where it is because nobody was in there.
I might have been at the Disabled Vets, which is a different one.
And the people who were in there wanted to fight me for this table that my guy grabbed. So we went in.
You said there was no one in there.
It was not
and
busy.
That's right now represented by the helicopter flyover that we arranged just for this segment.
Yes. No, so we had gone to lunch, and he's like, hey, do you want to pop into Ambets? I was like, yeah, hadn't been in this one. And we went in, and I've been looking for, I have a front porch, and
You're going to have to talk louder over the helicopter.
Should I just wait?
No, I think it's fine. Just get closer and talk louder, because it's like we're reenacting a scene from The Deer Hunter or Apocalypse Now.
The Departed.
I'll play some Wagner music.
Oh, man. So we went in, and I'm looking for like just a $5 or $10 table that I can put on the front porch. Like I want like a coffee table for my porch swing.
Okay.
Because I'm weird like that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you are a person who drinks your coffee outdoors.
I do, and I want.
That's what you do.
I don't want like a patio table, like a metal.
Like this.
Right. I don't want a metal, or I want like an old wooden, just something that can get anyway. So I'm looking for that.
You want what you want.
We walk to the back where the furniture is, and he sees this table and picks it up before I even really see it. I was like, oh. I went like that, and he picked it up.
Because he is like a giant of a man.
He's a large man.
Just 2 fingers, and he's able to lift a table over
and he
his
was
head.
like, and he picked it up, and we start looking at it, and it's this ornate Japanese table, and it's got ivory on it, like actual ivory on it.
Like band nowadays, you'd have to. This is clearly 50 years old, probably, right?
And it's
or plus.
$14.98.
Well, that's a bargain.
And so he's got it in his ginormous meat hand, and
the GMH.
Ginormous meat hand.
Yeah, if you hear about GMH, that's a condition that some people suffer.
And he's got it in his hand, and as soon as we start to walk off and go look at other things, this lady, and she was not a small woman, this woman comes like, she goes, oh, I was just coming back to get that. And I gave a little like, and he was like, he was so nice. He's like, I'm so sorry.
Was she upset?
She was playing it off like.
That's a little awkward. This is a little Curb Your Enthusiasm right now.
She was playing it off like she wasn't upset, but she was upset. And I felt the reason I know she was upset, because I did my little like happy jig.
Like I do during the Hutch and Howard jingle?
Right, but I did my little happy jig because I'm happy about it. And and so she left, and when we went to take it up front to buy it, the girl behind the counter, she was like, no, dang it, no, I had my eye on that, I was gonna go get it.
What, then why didn't they get it?
Right?
I mean, what do you mean how do they know about it and not buy it? And then, if it's a matter of saving money because it's so expensive, then I understand.
Right.
You know, then it's a heartbreak. If you bought the Christmas shoes right before the kid in that worst song ever, because he had counted out his pennies, and it took him so long to count out his pennies, that you swoop in and buy the Christmas shoes before the kid.
Right.
That's terrible.
Right.
Because he saved up.
Or you yoink it out of somebody's cart or something, but no.
But this is a situation where it's $15, less than $15.
The first woman apparently had just walked past it, thought about it, and decided to come back, and in that time we swooped in.
So like me, she's a somewhat indecisive shopper. She's got is trying to prevent the buyer's remorse, and you have to think through every possible scenario. The analysis by paralysis,
right.
No, the other way around, paralysis by analysis. Yeah, you overthink. All right. So she's an overthinker.
So, and she was kicking herself, and
one of the possibilities she should have overthought is that
somebody else
table might
get it.
Is maybe not for her.
But I did mention it was not busy in here. There were maybe this was the middle of the afternoon. There were maybe 5 people,
all of whom wanted the table, apparently.
So the girl behind the counter is young, and she was like, "Oh, that just came in," And she told me that a woman had brought in a U-Haul full of things that they were still processing. Like, this was one that just came out from the back. Like,
When, oh, okay,
So-
okay. So it wasn't like when Aunt Dee died and we brought the U-Haul to the thrift store and we're just unloading it in
right.
the back.
But that's, so what had happened was this woman brought
This-
a U-Haul in.
A donor.
A donor brought a U-Haul in and unloaded all the stuff in the back. And apparently,
Do you want to buy some of my crap?
the day, sure, the
Okay.
day that we were in there, they were starting to put this stuff out.
I see.
So the girl at the counter didn't know that these things were starting to come out.
These were new
into-
arrivals.
Right.
Did they? Okay.
And so she was kicking herself because she was like, I knew that was going to come out, and she was going
You
to
know,
get
that
it.
is a dangerous job to have. If you
Well, I've now started in danger territory.
work there?
No, I wish.
No, my grandma got a job at the Daffodil.
Which was a thrift store?
Yes, it was like the hospital thrift store in Southampton. And eventually, thank goodness, she got a job at Villeroy and Bach. I mean, she's 80 something, right? So she's still, but she can't stay. She can't stay still. This
Right.
is, she's dead now, but
So,
you know, this was her.
I hope that that's me.
So we used to go visit her at the Daffodil, and she would have bought something for everyone.
Like every time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then when I guess the Daffodil maybe closed up, she worked somewhere else. But she liked retail. She just liked it. She wanted to. Her dream was to have her own antique store. So the house became full of these things that she bought, not necessarily because she wanted to keep them, but because she thought it'd be fun to resell them someday.
Okay.
So what about you?
Well, so the girl behind the counter told us this story that the woman who dropped it off, her mother, her 93-year-old mother, had just passed away, and she was from Japan. Her mother was from Japan. So she had all of this furniture and all of these things that she brought with her from Japan.
So your table's from Japan?
Maybe it's
Maybe.
very old, and you can tell that it's like the craftsman is it's beautiful. I could care less if it's really from Japan or not.
And you're going to leave it out on the front porch to get...
No.
That's
this
what you
is
said.
No,
That's what you said.
That's what I was
you
looking
said
for.
You were looking for a coffee table where you could drink your coffee on
And
Saturday
junk
morning
up.
and put your feet up.
Right, but here's the
And
thing.
you didn't want a crappy piece of this metal and glass.
But this is not crap. Just
All right.
but no. So now I got this table. Now it fits perfectly in my house. It's
Oh, it's
gorgeous.
inside the house.
It's inside.
It's an inside
There's
table.
no way Jose am I putting this on the front porch. But now that I posted the picture of it on Facebook and people are commenting on it, and I got this thrill from like getting something.
The woman's going to see it,
Well, no, I got this thrill. I hope so.
right? Don't
She
you
doesn't know
think?
where I live.
Well,
You can feel free to email if you are.
if
that
I were
woman.
heartbroken over the, whatever it is, what do you call this table? The Kama Sutra table?
That's what somebody on my Facebook said. It looks like the people are doing Kama Sutra. If you like, you can insert another picture here of my table.
So, what I'm saying is, if you were obsessed over this table and you start Google searching for things like it, it's theoretically possible that the internet has gotten so advanced that it may pop up your Instagram feed.
Well, now
or
you can do
something.
an image search.
That's what I'm
so I
talking
could
about.
image search my table. Ooh, I'm gonna do that.
That's what I'm talking
Good
about.
idea.
Because I thought, I mean, remember last week when we were doing the commercial for Bone Zones, or maybe it was yesterday, I can't remember. It was yesterday. I had this image that overnight, I lost sleep over this, that someone is going to hear the date on the knee joint and think, I know someone who died and they had a knee.
And then they had a knee replacement.
Which is unlikely, because this is the date I got the knee, not the date. It was in the drawer. So
Right.
it means they died at some point before that.
Right.
That's not the day they died, and it's probably not even the day they got cremated. It's just the day that Helen
Right.
made the tag for
Yeah.
me. But I had that vision, like, oh my gosh, some person. This is crazy thinking. This is what happens when
When
I
you're
don't know.
crazy. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it also happens, after you've been in media for your whole life, and the weirdest things happen to you ever.
Yeah, so, I mean, she was upset. We kind of avoided her for the rest of the time that we were in there. And then we
the
went to
store.
the store next door, and she
How
was
much
in
longer
there
did
too.
you-
Well, she was in the store that we went to next
Oh,
door.
the first shopper.
Right, first shopper lady.
What's next door? Like Carm? It's like a whole row of thrift
Okay,
stores?
the shop. I don't want to tell. It's Big Lots. There's Big Lots, Ambets. There's an old time pottery. There's a Dollar Tree.
Okay.
It's like it's a Waccamaw land. But
right.
I may now have a thrift and antique store. Like, this may be a burgeoning problem.
Well, you'll fit right in with my family because, as I mentioned, this was Grandma and Grandpa. They liked antiquing, and my dad even to a degree. I mean, my mom and I one of the only pieces of furniture I'm going to get from my mother's house are these 2 wooden chairs that I bought for her because at the time my dad had died that winter, and it was now summer, and she didn't have any money yet. My mom was broke, and I had a job at a bank, so I bought her these 2 wooden chairs that she liked at an antique store, and we had to get them home. I think I was driving a 1972 Ford Maverick at the time.
Nice.
And Mom used to, apparently, I never knew this, but she used to tell everyone the story of how I had to fit these big-ass chairs into the Ford Maverick and drive them the 5 hours down to Virginia. Well, now I've got to drive them the 8 hours. Somehow drive them the 8 hours. And oh, you need furniture. It's just everyone thought, oh, good, it's nice that you want those chairs because Mom used to love to tell the story about how you and she bought them together.
Oh, but see, that's sweet. And that's what I love. My table has a story.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's take a pause.
Should we?
Yes. It's
time to take more than a pause.
Let's take a pause till tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching the Krisha and Frank Show on YouTube. Thank you for sharing the links and getting your friends to watch, because all of my friends are tired of hearing about it because I've been bugging them to please subscribe.
Yeah. I took your route and I started texting people.
It's important to us, you know.
I got a lot of new phone who dis.
I did get one of those too. Yeah, I'm like, hey, sorry, and then it's Frank Murphy, sorry, and she's like, oh, never mind, please,
Never mind,
text me again.
But thank you if you have subscribed. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking, and just thank you.
We appreciate it. All right, it's the Krisha and Frank Show on all your podcast apps and your YouTube, and we'll be back here to talk to you again tomorrow.
Bye. Tomorrow.